Okay, brothers and sisters, here we are again. We're live. We got the Facebook thing going here. We got YouTube going. And we want to say that it's been a struggle. Looking at those tapes, we're going to get right into it. Looking at those tapes from the brother, I can't recall his name right now. The brother who was beat to death in Louisiana as if he was a less than a dog. And the state of Louisiana covered it up for 2 years. And someone says, I, I, I know what racism is. I was born during the 50s, 60s. I know what it is. As if 2021 is any different from 1953 or 4. 1953 is when Emmett Till was crucified. And the brother that we discovered was crucified 2 years ago in Louisiana. I can't recall his name right now for some reason. I should have wrote it down. But y'all know who I'm talking about. I have pictures of him on the internet, and he was beaten as if he was less than a dog. It's been on the TV screen. It's been on the TV screen all week, and it's horrible. So first, we know that most people forgot, although that racism, white supremacy is operating right in front of our face. We know that if it's not basketball or somebody throwing an oval shaped football down the field and throwing for over 1,000 yards and 40 something years old and still winning the Super Bowl. And although I can't stand black people, talking about that person, that quarterback, we gonna forget about it. But we gonna make sure we look at Tom Brady every time he come on TV. Although he don't give a damn about you. He shows us that when he backs Trump. And he ain't the only one. So we're gonna give you the definition because like I said, we know you forgot. Most of us just forgot. So this definition comes from the original definition written by Mr. Neely Fuller in 1953. It is no excuse that something has been around over 70 years, 70, that we can't even pull from it. And it has been refined and expanded. We're talking about the definition. After Mr. Neely Fuller began writing about it in the 50s, 53, he met Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in the 60s. And she began to study the system of racism, white supremacy, as she always was doing, but in depth. She's the only medical doctor in the history of the world to study racism, white supremacy for over 40 years, and we don't even know the woman existed. Don't even know. But we know who Tom Brady is. Yep, go figure. But that's what we're supposed to do. That's how the system is designed. So we moved to our third textbook. The first two was Mr. Neely Fuller, and we want to say that you should study these people and don't study them like did they like chicken, or did they walk a certain way, or did they join a certain fraternity or sorority? No, study their language and their mind. Mr. Nellie Fuller, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and the third one that most black people don't even know he existed. That's W.D. Muhammad. Just simply type in W.D. Muhammad. He is a man that took a whole group of religious people. He was the leader of the Nation of Islam after his father passed in 1975. He became leader, W.D. Muhammad. And he took a whole organized group of people, dangerous people, and took them from one direction and turned them all the way around into another direction. And if you study that movement, you would say absolutely fascinating. What he done was just as as important, or what those three people have done was just as important as the fellow who came up with E equals MC squared, Einstein. Just as important. So we ask you to please study Mr. Nellie Fuller, where we got this definition from Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, who added to the definition, and Imam W.D. Muhammad, who taught human excellence. Human excellence. Now, that's what the followers ought to be saying. Not sitting off into a closet reading the Quran to each other and see who could sound the best. Imam Muhammad taught human excellence. Absolutely fascinating. Look him up. So now we're going to start with the definition of racism, white supremacy. And thank you, Sister Ford. Yeah, I think she says I look like my father. That's a that's an honor. That's an honor. That's an honor to me. Because in my mind, my father, he's older now. He's 86 this year. My father, when I was younger and looked upon my father, he seemed like he was a giant. And I thought my father was a giant. I still do. I'm talking about beyond the physical. At one point, I thought he was a physical giant and mental giant. Always did. And if I could be a tenth of the man that my father is and was, I'll be doing something. So, racism, white supremacy is a worldwide system for the genetic survival of those people that are classified as white. It is carried out, excuse me, it moves through speech, thought, system formation, action, and emotional response. It is carried out in 10 areas What I just named is carried out in 10 areas. I'm giving you the definition and exactly how it works. It is carried out in 10 areas of human activity: economics, entertainment, education, labor, law, religion, politics, sex, war, and health, for the protection of the genetics of those people that are classified as white. That's what racism, white supremacy means. That's it. And someone will say, they ain't more supreme, they ain't supremacy, they ain't more supreme than me. So that means you weak. I had a guy tell me that. That means you weak. He had no idea what he was talking about. No idea. Supremacy only means one who kills another one with impunity. Do you know any black policeman that could beat a white man to death, drag him on his face after they handcuff him in his back and his leg, drag him on his face, taser him, and stomp his back with a foot? You know any black policeman that could do that? Can Troy Finner do that and get away with it? No. Scott Shearhart did. Now, who is Scott Shearhart? Scott Shearhart shot Byron Gillum. I believe that was in 85, 86. Right in front of that Burger King on the other side of the street, the U of H side, on Scott. Unloaded a 9mm in him. Did not spend one day in jail. Right here in the city of Houston. That's what we mean by supreme. One who can kill another one with impunity. And if someone didn't leak that tape, those officers wouldn't be facing a potential or going to jail. The one that beat the brother, it's so many people, it's almost overwhelming to keep up with the names. Uh, yeah, Louisiana beat that brother like that. Did y'all see the way they beat that brother? And the brother was saying that I'm your brother. He said that. He said, I'm scared, I'm your brother. What he was really saying, don't do me like that. Somebody called. Don't do me like that. I'm your brother. Now, since they didn't hear that, maybe they can hear it in hell. Because I'm not one to say that I forgive him. Now, if his family, which I doubt that they do, if his family does that, well, I think the law says there's no blame on them. They're not in the wrong necessarily. But and if they don't forgive them, because we got a group of people, religious people, said that God commands them, although a person may do what they did to the brother. I wish I could remember his name. In Louisiana, they are obligated to forgive him. No, you are not. I never read that in the Bible. If it's in there, I never read it. And I know it's not in the Quran. It is the Quran said you can forgive him. But if you choose not to, there's no blame on you. The blame is on those officers and the people who helped cover it up. That's the blame. So this past week, a brother took my words, and they're not really my words, they're from Mr. Neely Fuller. Uh, Mr. Neely Fuller phrases it as the three F's. as I introduced the topic today, it was learning the three F's. Or what are the three F's? It's three F's that every black person should know. You already know them. Your mother told you, your grandparents told you, your father told you, but you forgot. Since we don't operate under the color of family anymore, we don't. Most black people don't. I know we act like it. We get on Facebook and take pictures and stuff like that, but we really don't act under the color of family anymore, like we did when we were younger. I see Brother Mitch was on. We don't act like that anymore. On a whole, as a group of people, we we do what the general society does, or we try to, and we don't know that the general society controls racism, or the so-called majority people in the general society in the United States or around the world. Well, they're not the majority, but they control as if they're the majority. We follow them. So we put no value in husband and wife. We put no value in children, put no value in grandchildren. So we just, and grandparents, put no value in cousins. It's people, you can post something on Facebook about your blessed mother, and some of your cousins won't say nothing. And then another group of cousins may put something on there about their mother, and it get 7,500 people, because we don't see family correctly. It's all distorted now. Everything is distorted. So when that happens, we open ourselves up to a barrage of things, to a whole bunch of things, to everything you can imagine. You open yourself up to those 10 areas that I was talking about earlier. Junior, I'm glad you came. Tell us, tell everybody else, Ivory, tell us what's that brother's name, if anybody can recall, out of Louisiana, that got stomped to death as if he was Emmett Till. And it's 2021. That happened 2 years ago, 2019. And they've been showing it on TV for a week now. I can't recall the brother's name out of Louisiana. If anybody could type that in for us. But we're talking about the three F's, and we're not going to be long anymore. We're going to try to operate in a 30 minutes to 40-minute line, because we know that you have something to do. Yeah, type that name of that brother who got stomped to death 2 years ago in Louisiana by the state police, and the state covered it up for 2 years. But anyway, so we're talking about the three F's. And we went on to say the reason why we forgot them, because we don't have families anymore to remind us. When we get together, and you can see it on Facebook, I'm not making this up. I'm not making it up. When we get together, it could be at a funeral or picnic, family reunion, class reunion. We're going to get together with some wine. It could be our son graduating with honors from a university, a noble act. But we going to celebrate it with some wine. That's what we going to do. Oh, yeah. Ronald Green. Yes, Ronald Green. Ronald Green is the name of the brother who was stomped to death. And there's no difference. If you see his face laying there, The first thing that came to my mind was Emmett Till, and that was in 1953, I believe, when Emmett Till was crucified. And then over 70 years later, you got Emmett Till all over again. All of our people ought to be talking about this. Every last one of them, or critical mass of them, but we're not. So, so we say that, we celebrate with wine, liquor, weed, things like that. So we get farther and farther away from a direction that we should be going. So far that we don't know how to, even though that I don't know of no black person on a planet, not one, that when they're pulled over by police, especially males, when they're pulled over by police, oh God, protect me. That's what they're gonna say. Or, oh man, I hope he don't shoot me. Oh Lord, here's the police. And everybody be still. Keep your hands on steering. I'm gonna keep my hand on steering. I don't know of no black person that don't say that. And we have forgot to tell our children and remind ourselves what are the three F's. We used to say it, but here they are. Don't fuss. That means argue. Don't fuss. Don't flee. And don't fight out there in the streets with the police. Now, if somebody's uh, making your mother eat the concrete, well, you got to do what you got to do. But if somebody pulling you over, control yourself. If a policeman's pulling you over, control yourself. Put your hands on that steering wheel. Don't argue with him. He might say you ran the red light. And what the hell is wrong with you? Don't even say nothing. Boy, I ought to give you a ticket. Just take the ticket. Don't fuss. Don't fight. Don't flee. That's the three F's. Because if you do that, they will automatically kill you. Now, I put automatically in there because there is a caveat. They may kill you anyway, even if you don't do those three F's. If you don't fight, don't fuss, and don't flee, you still may get killed. So I'm not saying, and Mr. Neely Fuller, the one that wrote that, and he wasn't saying that this is a cure-all. This is just another move on the chessboard. Because now we got black people blaming black people for getting killed. Because we are confused. We're not doing it on purpose. We're just confused. See, when you don't understand the system of racism, white supremacy, everything you think you know will only confuse you. So we have people getting on the TV and radio or just talking in person. And the radio and TV now, just like we're on now, it goes all over the world. They can see this in China. What we're doing now, they can see what you're writing and see me in China right now. So when we get on the radio or TV and we talking like all black people this is not white people, these are black people. I'm not talking to white people, I'm talking to black people. And we get on TV or radio and say all they gotta do is just stop as if they are different from another black person. All they got to do is just stop running. As if they stop running, that means they ain't gonna get killed. What? So when they stopped Ronald Green and drug his face across that cement like they were some asinine baboons, uh, was Ronald Green running? Was he actually running once they put the handcuffs on him? No, he was not running, but they murdered him. So that's what caused me to bring up those three F's today. And you should teach them. We should teach them to our family members. Don't fuss, don't fight, and don't flee. And say to them, this is not a cure all. This is just another move on the chessboard. It's just another move. Because when we make a move, racism, white supremacy is going to make a move. And the moves will continue until we defeat the system. And we can defeat the system. But what I have seen lately is damn near too late. If you can play chess, you know it reaches a point where your opponent cannot move. And any movement that he tries to make is too late for that move. You have him in check. Really, it's called checkmate. You have him in check. That really warns him, like, hey man, I almost got you. You know, you can still move out if you could figure a way to go. But we're almost past that point. We are in check. If we continue to waste time drinking alcohol, smoking, playing around with sex, killing each other, stealing, robbing, not taking education seriously, uh, impregnating young girls become impregnated and can't afford the children that they already have. Boys walking around with their pants down and their underwear up. Uh, if we keep doing that, it's going to be checkmate. It's check right now. If we keep acting like racism, white supremacy does not exist. And these are the older people that say this. Because I went on university campus, Texas Southern. I got on that shirt because I like Texas Southern. Somebody gonna tell me, man, next time don't wear that shirt. Man, I'm gonna wear it next time too. So no, I just came off the golf course. I didn't have time to change with Lil Ali. So, and I'm gonna tell you about that before we leave. So those are old people that try to tell you, not all old people, but some old people, too many. They'll say, well, I don't, they'll tell you Monday or Tuesday, I don't see race. And then Wednesday, they talking about racism. They'll tell you on Monday that they do not see race and they don't go around looking for race. Then on Wednesday, or no, then on Tuesday, they talking to you about racism. Uh, we are confused. We are confused. We're saying in the heart, I hear people in passing as I'm walking. Oh no, no, I don't play one. I don't even look at race. Man, did you see how they beat that black brother? You see how them white people beat that black brother? I heard a preacher say this. I heard a preacher say this. He, he said that, no, I don't get off in no race. I don't even see no color. And he went on talking. He said, my friend gave me $1,000. My white friend. and he's given a mic. Oh, I'm gonna change his name, but we won't embarrass him. Oh, Pastor Greenleaf. That's Pastor Greenleaf. Yeah, let's hurry up and give him a mic. And he get on the mic and spit nothing but confusion. He says he doesn't see color. All in the same breath, he tells us about color, his white friend. And see, all of this is connected. Everything is connected. Boy, that Junior something else, ain't it? All of this is connected. These three F's: don't fight. I mean, don't don't fuss, don't fight, and don't flee. That's connected to what? To solutions. Because somebody said, oh, I ain't gonna look at Ali. He don't talk about no solutions. What? The whole thing is solutions. If you just merely listen, the whole thing is solution. So that's what we wanted to get over to you today. Like I said, in the future, we are going to try to stay within 30 minutes to 40, because number one, not most of the people on here. Most of the people on here is pretty solid. Ivory, Daryl Jackson Jr., Brother Osby Mitchell, and Sister Ford. But we know most people in general have a short attention span. Osby Mitchell could tell you that his daddy was a principal, and he himself should be the principal of Yates. But I also believe he was a principal of a school in the system, but school board system. So we just wanted to get that over to you, those three F's, and go out and tell your family about the three F's. Now, quickly, we're going to engage in what some call solutions. Mr. Neely Fuller said they're countermeasures to Black mental health. No, they're countermeasures. Dr. Francis Quest Welsing said they're actions in Black mental health. We at the university, we say that they're steps towards freedom. All of those mean the same thing. Imam W.D. Muhammad said there's human salvation. W.D. Muhammad is human salvation. So these are the things that we need to work on not doing. We need to stop fighting, stop doing, stop fighting each other, stop stealing, stop arguing, stop playing around with sex. Because if you don't, the joke gonna be on the child. Stop snitching. And snitching only means reporting someone to authorities. Now, authorities could be the FBI, CIA, or all the way down to the block captain. Stop the snitching, reporting someone to authorities, and simultaneously taking his place and doing the same thing. That's what snitching. Stop snitching. Stop using drugs. Cigarettes, it's a drug. Nicotine, get you addicted. It slows down your thinking. For males, it slows down blood flow. See, we ain't thinking. We ain't thinking. Stop smoking weed, drug. Well, ain't nothing wrong with weed. It comes from the earth. Yeah, but and it's legal, but it's a trick. It's a trick like you on a chessboard. You think I'm gonna go one way because the way I have these pieces set up, but you ain't watching that rook I got sitting over there, that castle I got sitting over there in the corner. You ain't paying no attention to it. So here's the trick. And tell your friends it's a trick. Tell your children, don't smoke that. That's a trick. It's legal, daddy. It's legal, mama. They smoking it all over. It's legal. Yeah, but you got a job at Exxon. And you're right, it's legal. But come Monday, Exxon gonna give a urinalysis test. They call it piss test. And you flunk it. Guess what Exxon gonna do? Fire you. Although it's legal, it's against their policy. They would say, trick. That's the trick. Stop using alcohol. Because it ain't doing nothing but killing you. Some faster than others. Don't take it. See, we are at the point, because we are in check. Junior say we already in checkmate. We are at the point that we can't afford to do none of those things anymore. Because you know what they said about Ronald Reagan after they covered up his body? See, the media is one of the ways racism, white supremacy is carried. Languages and images, that's media. You know what they said about Ronald Reagan? Oh, he had cocaine in his system. Now, why would they say that? The man been dead for 2 years. They covered it up for 2 years. Now the media say, oh, he had cocaine in his system. As if they'll be able to say, well, he was superhuman, like they say about black people. And that's why we had to beat him like that. One cop has already said it on his body cam. I just beat the living crap out of him. And he just kept coming. I beat the crap out of him. He was spitting blood. So what we want to do, we want to change the picture of ourselves. Don't even do none of those drugs. But we go and introduce them to our children. Because they see us with a wine bottle, whiskey, dope weed all up to our mouth. And we think they have respect for us. Because we allow them to do it now in our homes because they're 21 and 22. Now, somewhere along the way, from me, if I display that, if I do that, somewhere along the way, my offspring, my grandchildren, or great grandchildren, going to either be a drug addict or alcoholic, and that can be traced all the way back to me. Because when my son played college football, for example, this is just an example, and he graduated, we celebrated with some wine. Oh yeah, we're gonna get down to the good stuff now. I hear people say that on Facebook, like it ain't nothing. Yeah, we're gonna get down to the part. We're gonna really party. When you do that, it is absolutely impossible for that child to have respect for you. Because now you have came down to their level. Instead of telling them, no, we don't do alcohol here. We celebrate your success, my dear sister. Tell them that. They your children. You say, we celebrate your success, my dear brother. But it will not be any alcohol given here. These are solutions. Like I said, stop having babies that you cannot afford. That's playing around with sex. Now she's pregnant. I seen a lady today, and we're gonna close. I seen her because that's enough for us to chew on right there until I see you again. I seen a young sister today. They're in their early 20s. The people at the house, they always outside in the front yard playing loud music with cars on the grass. And one of the young ladies was pregnant. And I guess that's her boyfriend with his pants down. And he's pressing himself against her right out there, broad daylight. Now you tell me what's the chance of success for that baby? I'm not saying that baby is not going to be successful, but what's the chance of success? Now he got his pants down. She got on a miniskirt and pregnant. And between the two of them, they probably ain't got $50. Stop it. Because once we turn that direction around, we'll be able to see they won't be able to just come out and attack. They still will attack, but it'll be another move on our part. I'm not saying that will end. I said this before, and some 70-year-old person said, you trying to tell me that'll end racism, white supremacy? What? No, what I'm telling you, let's do that. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. In closing, I was talking to my son, Ali, youngest son. And we were we were in Kingwood. He did very well in this contest. And he plays golf. And when we arrived there, we was one of the first ones there. And it was, I think, 2 or 3 parents ahead of us, maybe 1 or 2. So we got up of course, we was up for our prayers, but we left the house about 6:18. Took our time. I've never been there. So we took our time and we made it there. And when we arrived there, he checked in and says, my name is Ali Muhammad. And she said, oh, okay, here, we're checking you in. Your tea time is at 8:15. The range is the practice where you practice hitting the ball. The range is closed. The putting area is closed. And you would have to report here 5 minutes before your tea time. So we said, wow. He just loosened up on the side. A white person came and with their children. Oh, Johnny, glad you're here. Your tea time is 8:20. This range is closed, but you can go around the corner there, and they got another range, and they got another green where you can practice putting. And we have nerve enough to won't even speak to each other. Did you just hear that story? Now Lee had to hear that, but he heard it before. He heard it before, and it didn't faze him not one bit. But that event moved me to emotions just to hear that, but to see him stand up like a soldier, and he didn't waver, and got up there and performed well with no practice. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Look forward to talking to you again. Keep the faith, and remember those countermeasures, solutions. We have them, and remember the 3 F's because it's a solution too. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again. need my mic turned on. The thing's on. Thank you very much. The engineer is slow on the